After having one of the great rookie seasons in WNBA history, Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever made her playoff debut against the Connecticut Sun on Sunday. It wasn't a pretty game for Clark or for the Fever, losing to the Sun 93-69. The game was also sloppy at times, with the officiating and even the scorekeeping receiving backlash during and following the Fever's loss. But one incident stood out from the rest, which led to some fans calling for suspension of one of the Suns' players. This was after Dejounte Carrington poked Clark in the eye, which some fans viewed as intentional. Clark has since responded to the incident, saying that it wasn't intentional by any means. Regardless of intent, Clark was left with a black eye after the game. Ahead of her second matchup with the Sun on Wednesday night, Clark provided an update on her injury, saying that her eye isn't bothering her should provide a huge sigh of relief to Fever fans whose team is facing elimination. Her performance in her playoff debut wasn't bad. She had 8 assists, but she shot just 4 for 17, which was certainly not a typical Clark performance. She had just 11 points. Both Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston looked very solid against Connecticut, scoring 21 and 17 points, respectively. If Clark can bring her a game, there's at least a chance that there will be a third game in the series. Despite being one of the most highly anticipated games in WNBA history for the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's playoff debut didn't go as they expected. Part of this was due to the referees who caused an outrage across Twitter or X. But regardless, the Fever didn't do enough to win. Clark and the Fever will be looking for a bounce-back win as they will be playing the second game of the series against the Sun at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday night. This game has even higher stakes as it's a win-or-go-home situation for the Fever. Ahead of the matchup, the Fever posted a series of quotes from their players and head coach Christy Sides. Unfortunately for Sides, her post hasn't been well received by the fans. Despite giving fans an inspirational quote, she was facing a ton of backlash in the comments. "Can you coach like you want to win?" one fan said, with another adding, "You'd be a lot cooler if you actually coached them on playing better defense." Another fan even said that she needs to be fired ASAP. Unfortunately, they weren't the only one to say this, as another added, "She's gotta go." While these comments are quite harsh, this isn't anything new for Sides. She has been receiving flack all year for her questionable coaching decisions that have left fans very upset. If they lose tomorrow, even if not likely, it's certainly possible that it's the end of her time with the Fever. That said, if they can get back on track, things